27 News WKOW. Here's what's happening right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Caroline Bach. The number of coronavirus cases in Dane County is now above 200.
2, 3, 4.
Hey y'all, this is coming from my dad's shop, my dad's garage. It's like he had a buffing wheel business, and I wanted to just speak my truth right now because it's tough out there. I had a couple guys that were in recovery, and they struggled. They were on quarantine. Two people at one of the houses in town here, at a sober living house here. Two people at one house. They got COVID-19, so they're on quarantine. And even though there was another house where these other cats were living, there's several houses in town, all over, like there are everywhere. And so they got the best of them, and being locked up, being quarantined and stuff, and their addiction. As an addict, that's really tough. That's really hard to be stuck someplace and maybe stuck by yourself or stuck in your own mind for too long. It's kind of a dangerous place for somebody that has the disease of addiction. And one of these gentlemen, even though it wasn't like he went out and used and then came back and then got kicked out. No, he just left. And that's when he ended up, struggling out there because he's homeless now.
Public Health Madison Dane County reports there are now 209 people who have tested positive since the beginning of February.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, can you help me?
Yeah, I got you.
I need $19. I'm trying to get a motel room tonight.
I don't got 19. I'll give you what I got, though.
I appreciate it, sir.
So it pours over. And pick up again. Pop the cork. You know what I mean? So me, I don't have a spleen, so I gotta protect my compromised immune system. I gotta protect myself inherently. And then my parents, I take care of them, and they're elderly. I take care of my dad's got late stage Alzheimer's, and I'm here to help them. So I have to be very mindful about who I'm in contact with. I couldn't help these dudes out, and then I was like, okay, fine. So like, at one point, I turned him away. I said, I can't help you. I put a dude up in a hotel one night. When he said, man, I went back out. One guy went out, and he right away, he felt horrible. As soon as he sobered up, he's like, man, I really blew it. But then the people at the home would take him back. And I don't blame him, because, because he got COVID-19. You don't know where dude went, all this stuff, And so he's really struggling. I remember calling him up, and then we put him up in a hotel. I put him up for one night and said, I can't have you stay here, man. And then the next morning I picked him up and we took him down to a warming shelter, and I dropped him off, and I hadn't seen him for 2 weeks. But lo and behold, dude was like, when he went in and he got to check in for warming shelter, they ran his name and found out he had a warrant, so like down somewhere, wherever. And so they took him there, and he did the COVID-19 test and before on intake, and he tested all right. He didn't have it, and then he sat there for 15 days. He came out, and he ended up back up here. because that's where he thought he could be helped, you know. And he didn't want to stay at home where he did a lot of using. So he came back to this other town, which is here. And I remember that morning, that morning I felt really I struggled. So like I've had like using thoughts that morning. I don't know where they came from. They just came to me like very, very, very unusual.